Just like Justin Baldoni saying, "I'd love to work with Blake again."
Blake Lively, known for her roles in glamorous films and her seemingly perfect family life with husband Ryan Reynolds, found herself at the center of an unexpected and highly publicized storm. This wasn't a scandal tied to a movie set, an affair, or a Hollywood feud. No, this was something altogether more bizarre and yet more personal. It all began with a seemingly harmless comedy sketch on Saturday Night Live, a late-night show famous for pushing boundaries and laughing at the absurdity of celebrities. But in this particular instance, the humor didn't land the way it was intended. It landed with a bang. And for Blake, it felt like a slap in the face. The moment that would set the stage for a legal battle began innocuously enough. Ryan Reynolds had made a guest appearance on SNL, a show where even the biggest stars take a turn at laughing at themselves. Ryan, ever the good sport, stepped in for a comedic bit, expecting a light-hearted moment of fun. But the world of comedy is a slippery slope, especially when it's live, and one off-the-cuff remark by comedian Colin Jost unleashed a storm that no one was prepared for. You see, Jost, known for his sharp wit and somewhat offbeat humor, made a remark that would haunt Blake for weeks. As part of a skit about celebrity collaborations, Jost made a joke about actor Justin Baldoni. He claimed Baldoni was eager to work with Blake again, referencing the ongoing tension between the two, which had been a point of gossip in the industry for months. While this was supposed to be a funny, tongue-in-cheek line, it struck a nerve with Blake. The punchline may have been meant to be harmless, but it inadvertently made a direct jab at her, dragging her personal life into the spotlight in a way she was not prepared for. It wasn't just the joke itself that caused the uproar, it was the implications. The mention of Baldoni, who was rumored to have a complicated history with Blake, only added fuel to the fire. Jost, while making a casual joke about Baldoni's supposed desire to work with Blake, unintentionally dragged her into a messy public spectacle. The audience's awkward laughter only deepened the sting. The line wasn't just a joke, it felt like a personal attack. And as anyone who has been in the public eye knows, the weight of one poorly timed comment can be devastating. The joke was short, but its repercussions were long-lasting. Almost immediately, social media erupted, dissecting every word, every pause, every subtle implication in that one line. People online were divided. Some found it hilarious, others cringed, but there was a palpable sense of discomfort in the air. As the clip went viral, millions watched as Blake's carefully crafted public persona as the sweet, relatable Hollywood darling began to unravel. The narrative that Blake Lively had carefully built for herself over years, of a grounded, family-oriented actress, suddenly became questioned. Was she really as down-to-earth as she portrayed? Or was she just another celebrity caught up in the drama of Hollywood's web? In the days following the incident, Blake and Ryan found themselves in the eye of a media storm. The internet buzzed with theories, memes, and debates. Was it just a joke? Or was it a calculated attack? For Blake, the fallout was devastating. What seemed like a light-hearted sketch on a late-night show turned into a full-blown PR crisis. Within 24 hours, the clip of the joke had been shared millions of times. As it spread, so did the public's judgment of her. Articles and tweets began questioning her authenticity. People revisited old interviews where she had been praised by her peers, but now with a cynical eye. Were those compliments genuine, or were they just another part of her carefully curated public image? It wasn't just the online chatter that Blake had to contend with, it was the people closest to her. Her image had been shattered and she needed to fix it fast. That's when she made a move that shocked everyone. Instead of relying on the usual Hollywood PR machine, Blake brought in someone far more unconventional, Nick Shapiro. The man had a reputation for handling crisis situations of a much more serious nature, including involvement in high-level intelligence operations. To many, it felt like an over-the-top response to what had started as a joke. Was Blake taking this too seriously? Or was there something more at play? Critics were quick to point out the irony of Blake hiring a crisis manager with such a background. After all, she had been highly critical of other celebrities, like Justin Baldoni, for using strong PR tactics to sway public opinion. Now Blake was doing exactly that. The hypocrisy was glaring and the public didn't miss it. The narrative that Blake was trying to control the narrative only made people more suspicious of her intentions. Behind the scenes, the legal battle was escalating. Blake filed an $80 million lawsuit against Saturday Night Live, claiming defamation and emotional distress. The lawsuit, which had originally been whispered about in industry circles, now took center stage. But as her legal team made moves, the media machine spun into overdrive. Headlines appeared, suggesting Blake had scored a huge victory in court. But if you looked closer, the reality was far less glamorous. Many of her requests had been rejected or scaled back. The media had been quick to proclaim her success, but legal observers noticed that the documents didn't support the hype. The court had largely ruled against her, and as the PR machine continued to churn, Blake's credibility began to crack. To make matters worse, Ryan Reynolds, who had been swept into this drama by association, found himself in hot water as well. An old interview of his resurfaced, in which he told a humorous story about unintentionally staring at a woman who was breastfeeding in public. While this might have been dismissed as awkward comedic storytelling, the timing was disastrous. The incident collided with Blake's own legal battle, where she had accused another man, James Heath, of making eye contact with her while she was nursing. The double standard was glaring, and it didn't go unnoticed. Critics began pointing out the hypocrisy. If Blake could accuse someone of crossing a line for a brief glance, how could Ryan's prolonged staring be brushed off as just a funny anecdote? The media began to question everything. The couple that had once been Hollywood's golden pair was now facing intense scrutiny. Fans who had once admired them for their chemistry and family values began to wonder if they were being misled. If their public personas had been carefully curated, what else had they been hiding? Was this all part of a larger narrative to protect their image at all costs? As the legal drama unfolded, industry insiders began to distance themselves from Blake and Ryan. Hollywood thrives on image, and suddenly the couple's off-screen drama was overshadowing their on-screen appeal. Co-stars and colleagues, once quick to praise them, began offering tepid, uncomfortable responses when asked about them. It was as if they were stepping back, trying to preserve their own careers in the face of mounting negative attention. Blake's crisis management team had gone into full force, but it was clear that the damage had been done. Even more concerning were the whispers within the brand and advertising world. Blake had long been the face of family-friendly campaigns and lifestyle brands. But now, with the swirling rumors and the perceived hypocrisy of her legal battle, even these companies began to hesitate. The wholesome image that had made her so marketable was now under attack, and executives were starting to rethink their partnerships. As the media focused on Blake's legal maneuvers and the involvement of her crisis PR team, the very brands that had once lined up to work with her began to pull back. It wasn't just Hollywood that was changing its tune. Blake's carefully constructed public image was starting to unravel in ways she hadn't anticipated. Even the projects she had been attached to began to feel the pressure. Reports surfaced that movies and shows, once eager to feature Blake, were now reconsidering her involvement. A-list directors and producers who had once courted her for her charm and reliability were now quietly looking for alternatives. Her presence, which had once been a box office draw, was now a potential liability. Ryan too faced the fallout. His once charming comedic persona, which had won him fans around the world, suddenly seemed tone-deaf in the face of serious allegations. His light-hearted approach to the media storm felt out of touch with the gravity of the situation. Jokes that might have seemed funny in the past now appeared as deflections, as if he were trying to laugh his way out of the mess rather than face it head-on. As the saga continued, the public became increasingly divided. Some stood by Blake, believing she was the victim of a cruel joke, while others began to question her motives. The lines between public relations and reality blurred, and the couple's carefully curated image started to fracture. People began to ask themselves, could they still believe in the Blake and Ryan they had once admired? Or had they been sold a narrative that was as carefully constructed as the movies they starred in? In the end, the story of Blake Lively and her $80 million lawsuit against Saturday Night Live became a cautionary tale. It was a tale of fame, of media manipulation, of the ways in which public image can be built and then shattered. The legal battle and the ensuing PR war revealed just how much celebrities are willing to do to protect their image. But in the end, it also exposed something else: how fragile that image truly is.